Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast. This is a 3 times weekly show looking into the exciting happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club, available on video and podcast. My name is Benjamin Bloom and I'll be here each and every Monday for this, the flagship show, for a sometimes irreverent but always informative hour of football conversation. So make your Monday a Blue Monday. Dave, are you picking your nose?
No, mate. I've got a golf team. A lucky golf tee I just picked up over there. So I'm just.
Is that a genuine thing?
Yeah. It says look, England golf on it. It's one of Jordan's actually. But yeah.
How are you? You feeling better? Dave missed the Ipswich game this week.
Virus, I'd say. Perhaps I've had a virus. One of those things. Sort of bit of man flu, stuff like that. Bit cough. Do you know what I mean? I've rallied now. Rallied for tonight, really. To be honest, I felt pretty shitty this morning, but I thought. Just got soldier through.
Did you see that tweet the other day where someone said if you permanently spoke in football speak, the drive in this morning, I thought I did well, but anyway. I'll be looking to come back stronger tomorrow. Amy, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
You're having sunny delight. I'm a bit worried that you're going to get a bit hyper.
Yeah, Amy, in about half an hour, you're off the ceiling. You're off the charts, aren't you? We're going to be finishing mid-table, and Freddie Sears is going to score 30 goals.
Unbelievable.
I did buy it after the game on Saturday, so I think that was probably like my desperation for trying pulling myself out of it because I was driving, so I couldn't.
It's a good fallback. I like that. Good fallback, not fallback.
And we've got you back. How was your feedback for your first appearance, Amy? Were people horrible to you on Twitter?
No, not at all. They've been lovely. Absolutely
lovely. Horrible to us.
I did get a mention on TWTD. I was moaned at for moaning about cheerleaders, but
okay.
That happens regularly. And they said, "Oh yeah, she's on Blue Monday now, so she thinks she's all that." And I was like,
okay. Well, we won't touch that with a barge pole because me and David shuddering at even the thought of it. So we will move straight on. Not much in the way of news this week around the games, but Paul Lambert was asked in the press conference about the youngsters currently out on loan. Brian Klug and Leo Neal. He says he's chatted to them about Nydam, Wolfenden, Morris. Quote, we've spoken about them, especially with Brian and Lee, and people like that who, in their opinion, thought was worth bringing back. Something we'll look up at their loan period. Amy, would you have any of those 4 back? Nydam, Wolfenden, Emmanuel, Morris?
Emmanuel in a split second. And a couple of years ago, I wasn't a massive fan, but I think anyone that can go in place of Spence, and they will be welcomed in open arms. So, Spence he's got to be rested, and whatever it takes to have, why not have our own players doing it?
David?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Spence could do with a few games out of the firing line. I mean, I'm not sure why Danasian's not getting an opportunity in there. I was really surprised yesterday he didn't change Spence yesterday. I couldn't believe it. He went with the same back four.
I know we'll get to this, but I think he didn't want to make too many changes, and he wanted to pull out. Wanted to pull out younger
good point.
Players.
But no, I think you're right, Amy. Out of those you mentioned, I'd have Emmanuel back. I think he's been given a bit of a raw deal, actually. I mean, I always quite liked him. Me and Ben always hark back to that game against Brighton, one of his early games when he got ripped a new one, didn't he, by Luar. And I think ever since
that did for him with Mick, didn't it?
Oh, he did. His card was marked totally with Mick, and that wasn't necessarily his fault. He was left horribly exposed by Maitland-Niles, I think, that day. But in difference to stat, hasn't Aaron Drinan come back from Sutton United?
Aaron Drinan has come back, but did you the quote from the Sutton manager? He basically said, look, he scored 1 goal in 19 games. So it wasn't Lambert pulling Drinan back. I think it was Sutton.
It harps back to Bristol City last season. It just got to the point he was looking back. Dave, why is he not bringing Drinan on? Why is he not coming on? Dave, what's happening?
Oh, I think it's the Irish.
But I think you're right, Amy. Out of those you mentioned, Emmanuel, because we need more than that. When it comes to January, we need a lot more than that. No disrespect to them. I think they're Nydam, Morris. I think they're going to be Wolfen, and they're all going to be good players for us. Dare I say it, next season.
Oh my God, but, he's gone there already.
Well, look, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
let's talk about it, Dave. You had to miss it. We labelled it. If we were doing like Sky Sports promo, we would have been hashtag the mother of all must-win games, wouldn't we? So off we go. Bristol City, and it's starting to get a little bit like the kid who's had his last warning and his last warning and his last chance and his last chance and his last chance and just let you down over and over again. So here we go to Bristol City. Unchanged for the fourth time. So Bielkowski, Spence. Do you want to give us a Spence, Dave? I feel you might not get to do many in the new year.
Spence.
Dave, you sound angry with him.
Oh, he's let me down.
It's like, do you know what? Not only has he let you down and everyone else, worst of all, he's let himself down.
Oh, yeah. Bless him.
Chambers, Pennington, Knudsen, Skews, Chalobah, Downs. Amy, how is? Did we decide whether he was brother or cousin, or I can't remember what ridiculous situation we make up that Amy's related to Flynn. It's just a bit of fun I have, Dave. The cousin.
We do that all the time on the history show. Our favourite one is David Best, the old town goalkeeper, is Leon Best's dad and stuff like that all the time.
I remember James Richardson on Football Italia doing a Ron Atkinson was Dalian Atkinson's dad as well. Which obviously, there's certain reasons why that probably wouldn't happen genetically. So on we go. Edwards, Roberts, Sears up front. Look, we're going to focus a bit more on Forest because Amy was there and I was there yesterday. But Dave, let's look at this in a little bit of detail and then we'll get your guys' read. First half I had down as a bit crap, then a bit tetchy, then a great goal. 1-0 at half time. Just give me your thoughts, Dave, on the goal and the
fantastic. One of the best goals I've seen. One of the best town goals, and let's face it, we haven't seen many. I've seen down there in a long, long time. I mean, just the little Cruyff turn by Skews in the middle of the park, the sprayed pass. My favourite thing about that goal was how Sears took the ball. Sears took, as the ball drops out, Sears takes it, sort of takes it. It's brilliant play. Commits, I think it's Pisano, the fullback commits
Harry
it,
was saying,
brings it inside. It's a class goal, and we spoke, didn't we, Ben? You compared it to the one he scored early at Fulham a couple of 2 or 3 seasons ago. Confidence, just a brilliant goal, just past it, a bit of bend in the corner. Yeah, it's one of the best goals I've seen at Portman at Town.
Can I say, Dave, I saw Alan Hutton score a very similar goal.
There you go. Yeah.
But with his weakness. So, look, Amy, it's all going really well. You know, the must-win game, 1-0 at half-time. They're doing the job. Bristol City are holding their end up, being a bit crap, and it's not particularly working for them. In we go second half. He brings on Jeju, who scored at Portman Road last year. The wingers split, and... Well, I'll get your take on it. 55 minutes. I was a bit forgiving to Bart on this one because I think he lost his place. Might not be so forgiving when we talk about Forest, but There we go. Paul Lambert says, honest mistake. Amy, what was Bart doing?
So I didn't actually see the goals until Saturday morning. I don't know whether it was my subconscious just trying to save me the pain of sitting and watching through those games, but those highlights. But my friend showed me it over breakfast when we met up on Saturday morning, and my God, that set us up for a positive day from that point on.
You almost spat your whiskey out, hey?
I'm the same as you. I feel really bad for Bart for that one. I feel really sorry for him. My dad actually pointed out if he hadn't stuck his hand out, it would have gone wide of the post.
Oh, well wide.
It was just so unfortunate. And we, at the minute, we just have no luck. And I know you make your own luck, and I know we need to be better than we are, but there is no luck. There's no balls falling right for us. There's nothing there, but it's always falling right for the other team. And it's just, I feel bad for Bart. I don't think he could have done much because, to be honest, by the point of him needing to save it, the rest of the defence should have already stopped it before it got that far. So I don't think you can blame him for that one. But I'm with you. I will be completely different about the one on Saturday.
I look forward to that. Dave, Sears puts us back in front. Actually, I'm quite calm at foot. I hurt my shoulder celebrating that one, Dave. I did a little.
Did you, mate?
Did a little fist pump with the old left shoulder up the
up the top. Many fist pumps down there recently.
Oh, posh seats, none as well. You know. So and then I was really pissed off in my post-game video about this equaliser because I went to Norwich versus Reading, right? Mm-hmm. And this exact same thing happened. Reading equalised, and then Norwich literally, Reading just folded, and Norwich, and I was kind of sitting there going, oh, well, that was terrible, and then Ipswich do exactly the same.
Then again, and again, is there a little bit of blame to Spence again for the cross again? It's shades of Reading, isn't it? Shades of that Mate goal at Reading. He shouldn't allow him to get the ball in there. And then it's bad. He's ball watching, I think. But again, he's very stuck on his bit of criticism there. Maybe he's stuck probably more than for the second goal, Amy, I thought, than the first one, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
First one, I agree with you. It was like an involuntary action. You know, he puts his hand, it goes in. Second one, he's in no man's land, isn't he, Ben? And then is it Patterson? Isn't it? Patterson's not picked up, and then you think he should save. It's quite weird.
He hits into the ground, doesn't he?
He volleys into the ground, and it's a really weird one. It seems to come out of the ground really quickly, as if it takes him by surprise. It's a bad goal, and especially just given the time it went in, the timing was just rubbish, wasn't it? Absolute rubbish. You're down again.
I think you nailed it. I think kick off, so defensive set play. Cross shouldn't have come in. Although actually, Amy, Dave's very good at this. When we saw Kelly last year at Bristol City, he was like,
brilliant.
That guy's going to be a good player.
Well, he was in for Brian. Do you remember Brian was injured, Joe Bryan, and it was him last year that set up the winning goal at Ashton Gate for Zizou. It was his cross, wasn't it?
It was Liverpool loan. It wasn't Jeju. I forget the guy's name, but yeah, you're right about cross went in. Someone will tweet us the answer to that one.
Jeju. Okay.
Some Serbian, Yugoslav. I'll look up.
You might be right. Sorry, yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah.
And then it's gone 2-2, Amy. 5 minutes later, 3-2 again down our right hand side, and I mean it was a bit lucky, but Edwards is now so terrified of the two wide guys. He's like falling over himself to show him inside, and I think it deflects off Chambers in the end, but Edwards is beaten too
horrible.
easy, and then no one reacts. And then after that, 25 minutes left, and I think they froze. Where did it all go wrong, Amy?
So I was thinking about this earlier, and for me, the one thing that's been consistent this year, apart from us being absolutely diabolical, is the lack of confidence. We've had 4 different managers in charge, admittedly the one caretaker as well, but under each of them, we haven't had any confidence. It's just been getting worse and worse. And it's like when you have a crap week at work. I had one the other week, and one thing goes wrong, and while you're trying to sort that out, 3 other things go wrong, and you just cannot get ahead. And all you can do is put your head down and just try and get through it. And that's how we feel at the moment. Trouble is, it feels like we're sort of on the way out of the office block being led by security rather than actually trying to solve the problem. But
clear your desk mode.
Yeah, definitely. But I just think it's confidence, and we looked like rabbit in the headlights once. Bristol sensed that we were falling apart, and they did absolutely the right thing. That any championship team should do is you take advantage of that. We are the team that teams are playing even when they're at our place and they're expecting a win, and that's a really hard thing to overcome. Whereas under Mick McCarthy, sorry to mention his name, but under him, people would come to us expecting a tough game. They don't now. They expect a walkover.
Dave, quality or confidence?
It's a bit of both, Ben. Just routine stuff going wrong. Routine passes, and it's a total lack of confidence. Everyone's got a mistake in it, but the defence, the goalkeeper, his mistakes riddled right through the team, and I think that just comes from a lack of confidence. Really does.
My feeling on the whole thing changed on Wednesday. I've spent the whole time thinking, okay, there's this and there's that and there's the other, and I always kind of had a route out of it in my head, and I was sitting there after those goals and thought, right, I now expect us to go down, and unless I'm well prepared to be wrong, but now my brain is, we're going down, prove me wrong, as opposed to it was, we're going to stay up, but there's a chance that we'll go down. Amy, did you have a swing on Wednesday?
No, mine happened Saturday.
Okay.
To be honest, by the time full time came around, I was watching The Apprentice, so
okay.
I was picked up again.
Mikey and I have stopped watching since that. What was that Indian dude's name? The guy, the Indian model guy. He was utterly box office. He was utterly hilarious, and we would exchange lots of. I'd show you the WhatsApp pictures now. Dave, were you in that mode that I was in the?
Yeah, I think Wednesday did it for me as well. Yeah, there's no. I hope I'm wrong. I didn't think there's any going back after Wednesday. It was just so bad. It's just everything that could have possibly went wrong in that 15-minute spell. Just horrific. And I didn't expect. Did you really go yesterday with any great confidence, expecting to get anything yesterday?
Not in that, and I think that's the difference. And I don't know if you agree with this, Amy. I went yesterday thinking, okay, gonna get some food, gonna hang out, listen to some music on the way. Forest are good, and we might beat Wigan in 3 weeks. You know, that was my thing. Whereas Bristol City, it was like, right, no,
this is a
they're
game.
bad. We can beat them. It's pouring with rain. It's Wednesday night. They've lost 4 on the trot. You know, everyone knows Adam Webster and how to put him under.
And
everyone
you're
knows
right,
about
Ben,
Lee Johnson.
They weren't a good side. They were not a good side.
Well, they've drawn at home to Millwall today.
Yeah, they just didn't have to work. Badly. You know, at the end of the day, they just didn't have to work hard for it. You know, they got the goals. And really, did we have put them under much after that? No, not really.
Was the guy called Juric or something?
Juric. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Juric. Yeah,
I'll have that one.
Nearly same. D, short name, Juric.
Not giving you that one. Press conference, not too much for to be said. I think the most entertaining thing was Stu being called Steve by Paul Lambert, which made everybody laugh a little bit. But I think he was a bit too scared to correct him on it. What did come out?
Is he going to be called Steve on the live show, Ben?
I'll let him decide. I'll let him decide. Steve Finch. Finchy. Sorry. Teo Eden has apparently gone back to Fulham with, quote, an eye injury. And Stuart was good on this one. He pressed him. He said, "Oh, what's the injury?" David, are you buying that? Is this another Jordan Roberts? Free up some money, free up a loan spot?
I think you're right. I think clearly he doesn't fancy him, does he? And I didn't see. Look, the first couple of games, was it a game against Exeter where I think he set the goal up for Jackson and he really got hold of the ball and really drove forward from midfield. And you think, okay, yeah, I can see what he's about. He's a player.
Sheffield Wednesday away as well. Were you at that one, Amy? Sheffield Wednesday? That's your neck.
No, I missed that, but I did see him at Leeds and he was really good. He was my favourite player against Leeds. Honestly, like by our standards at the moment, he was good.
I personally didn't really think there was a lot of difference between him and Nydam.
No, you really said that before. And
maybe he was a little bit more powerful, obviously a little bit more experienced, been away with the England under-20s. But for me, very, very similar players. I didn't get that one at all.
Right,
but we don't have Nydam at the moment, and we did have Eden, and he could have made a difference. Do you know what I mean? I just think funnily enough, we were talking.
When Nydam went out and he came in, you think, oh, he's a player, so let Nydam go. No difference to me. No difference at all.
No, I appreciate that, but I think for now, the moment we're in, where we really, really need to be picking up some points between now and January, why not give him a go?
Ed, you mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't. Clearly, the manager doesn't fancy him, does he? That's it.
I'm trying to think of I've been sitting here. I'm trying to do one of my brilliant links to the curve bar, and Teo Eden, who hit a lovely curving cross in the opening game against Blackburn that went into the goal. And we're going to be at the curve bar on February the 16th for Blue Monday live. We still have fun, even if we've lost every game between now and then. We're gonna have lots of fun. It's gonna be great. Eventbrite.co.uk. We sold about a third of the tickets already. Amy, I think that's an excellent Christmas present. You could print off the thing and put it in an envelope in the stocking.
Tuck it in.
Of course. I've got mine before you rearranged it because I was going to be down in Ipswich last weekend, and so I've got my ticket and I actually booked my hotel this week, so I'm having a weekend down in Ipswich.
There it is to see Gary Rowett's Stoke. Hey, there might be something.
Thank you for picking such an amazing game for me.
No, it was I know. There was limited options. Put it that way. West Brom would have been the one, wouldn't it? But
it's also Valentine's weekend, so what an amazing thing to do with your partner.
I had to have this out with a few people that if you're, waiting until the weekend when Valentine's Day is on a Thursday, then you're not doing it right anyway. You've got to go out on the actual actual Thursday. So
you could do what I'm doing and go away from your partner Valentine's weekend while he stays at home and looks after the baby.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good. Off we go to Forest. And what would you say? What's the football speak? A raft of changes, don't they say?
Waft of changes, absolutely. Raft, yeah.
So what we get, and I'll be interested, I'll get both of you on this, and I made this a 4-1-4-1, so bit of an interesting use of a few of them. So Bielkowski in goal. Do you want to give us another Spence, Dave? Can you put a bit more love into this one, please?
bench.
That's unbelievable.
That's
Chambers,
false.
Pennington, Knudsen. So Skews does this job we've seen him do a few times where he's sitting in front of the back four on his own, which he rather likes. Back comes Grant Ward. He's going to play right midfield. Ted Bishop inside him. Dave, has he started since
No.
even that
Boxing
Rotherham
Day.
game?
Don't think
Oh,
so.
sorry,
No, I think
Boxing game.
First start since QPR.
Okay, Lancaster was kind of inside. I made him pretty much centre midfield there. Sears out to his left. Caden Jackson starts up front. Dave, what about the system and what about the guys? He kept saying, "Oh, I need to have a look at some of the players here." What was your view on the starting 11?
I was slightly surprised. I mean, Ward sort of came in a bit out of the cold, didn't he? He hasn't really. I think it's the first time he certainly started. Whether he's come on at all.
He started at Millwall, which was probably bad for him to plan, but watch that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we had this conversation Thursday, wasn't it? When he said, I said, do you think Lancaster will get a start? And you said, well, I don't know, maybe off the bench. So that for me
was off the record, that conversation, Dave, and you called me out on being wrong now on the internet.
Right, well, you know,
people will poke me.
That's my Gigi Juric.
Okay, 1-1.
No, I think I say I was a little bit surprised, as you said earlier, that he didn't change the back four. But given he made 4 changes anyway, Roberts, no surprise, take him out the far end line, put Jackson in. Really, most pleasing thing, obviously, is Bishop starting. I think Bishop is the one player that we have that is a little bit different.
Bishop Muzarewa. Amy, thoughts on the guys coming in, usage of Lancaster? You obviously didn't want to drop Sears. I just wonder whether Lancaster would have been better down the left, but then I would have fancied him.
If it's a choice between the two, you keep Sears, especially after Wednesday. He's on fire at the moment.
You didn't mean drop Sears, did you? You mean moving him?
I meant moving him.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, fair enough. And Sears, as we know, gets put anywhere on the pitch that there's a gap, doesn't he?
Right, fullback.
Including the defence, as he was most of the game on Saturday. There was a guy behind me. We were sat quite close to the corner flag, and there was a guy behind me. Freddie came over to collect the ball at one point, and he goes, "Freddie, I effing love you." And I swear Freddie had a little smile on his face, probably the only smile all day. Right. But there's a buzz about him at the minute. I think you've got to keep him.
We didn't speak about Sears. Just give me a sentence on Sears, Dave, after that performance on Wednesday.
It's just great to see. We always knew there was a player there, and I always think Freddie Sears is just too honest for his own good. Do you know what I mean? He is so honest.
If he was more of a bastard,
absolutely, a bit more selfish, you know. And that's not, and that, I think, in a good way. But he's so unselfish for the team, and I think certainly under Mick that was very much to his detriment, wasn't it? You know, he just didn't kick on. You know, when he first came and played that half season under Murphy in the playoff season, he was superb, wasn't he? Absolutely superb. And I now think you're now seeing, you know, what he is, what he's about, and perhaps he could have been in the last couple of seasons. Really, I mean, under Hurst, he wasn't even in the squad, was he? Didn't even feature.
Look at what you could have won.
That's true.
Off we go. There's nothing in it. Ward kind of falls over. Forest didn't really get their foot in, and we get to the 9th minute, Amy. And Derikwa, who presumably has been told, shoot on sight, this goalkeeper is not in foot. Well, look, I'll give my opinion in a minute. Take us through this first goal, please.
So I think it's worth starting off. I think this one came from a throw-in, didn't it? And the cross that led to the throw-in was beautiful. It was a really nice bit of play. Chambers comes down, locks out the ball, make sure it goes off. Where Spence should have been, I'd just like to add, but Chambers comes across, deals with it. I think we all thought it was a corner, but anyway, goes for a throw-in. Nice pass to, I've been trying to practice Derikwa, did you say?
Derikwa.
Nice pass over to him. He then has a nice pass, and you said in your match review afterwards that he then moves into space. He keeps the ball going. He keeps the play going. He gets himself in a position where he can shoot. Again, something that Ipswich just weren't doing yesterday when we were off the ball. My mate Martin said to me, if you watch them, the blue shirts are still. If the red shirts have got the ball, the blue shirts aren't moving, and that's quite worrying because that's, even I know that you should be doing better than that, and I was a terrible footballer. He takes a shot. Bart should have held it. He should have held it. He did not deal with that very well at all. But then none of the defence did. The Grabban just gets away from Pennington straight away. There's nothing there. It's easy. It is so easy. Given the quality of Grabban, it was quite sad to give that easy goal away with him.
Did you see when he ran off?
He did.
He didn't run off like that. He was like, well, I thought it was going to be harder than that.
Yeah,
well,
head
nearly
was
missed
down.
it, didn't he?
Yeah.
To be fair, he nearly missed it.
Well,
With a bit of luck, could have hit Bart and come out, but yeah.
It didn't look like it from where we were stood. You just knew that ball was going in the net all the time.
My take on that, Amy, I didn't see the build up before. I think it was Guardiola who passed it, who knocked it sort of square. Guardiola.
They wish Guardiola.
He knocked it square to Derikwa. But it all seemed so. How did it get to that? If it was their throw, that all seemed quite a bit easy, because when the ball sort of broke to Guardiola, you had all the time in the world just to knock it inside to.
We were very deep, Dave.
Yeah, we looked it, and always the same. It never changes. Always the same.
Always the same.
Ball's off Bart, and we're second to it. We don't react.
I'm sorry though. I appreciate what you both say about Pennington, but if I'm Pennington and that shot goes in, I'm turning around thinking, he's going to hold that, and I need to be pushing up, ready to restart for a goal kick.
And if he doesn't, Ben, he's right. If he doesn't hold it, he's got to push it away. He just blocked it, then it spun out, and it was a horrible goal.
I haven't read the questions. I'm sure we're going to get asked about Bart, so we'll say no more now. And this bewildering drop off in his performance from, we'll talk about that in a bit, but on we go. Good period for Ipswich. They're getting behind a couple of times. Dave, I've been a bit critical of Jackson. I thought for about 6 or 7 minutes there, I thought he was quite dangerous. You knew he was quicker than Dawson and Hefele, and look, his finishing was bad. But
Ben.
I know, but he actually used his pace. But we've been saying forever. Look, use that pace. Be a danger. And are you talking about the glancing header or the one where he goes in behind, Dave? Where you say should
glancing header,
which is a great cross from Ward. But there's basically three good moments for Jackson in that period. And look, I'm not going to overstate it. That was the only period in the game, that little bit at 1-0 down, where we kind of took it to them. Should mention here, I like Knudsen, but lots of people don't. But Paul Lambert had stressed many times this week, stop crosses coming in, and there was just one horrible one. So Derikwa stands up Knudsen. He doesn't do a trick. He doesn't dummy. He doesn't do anything. Knocks it to the side. Crosses it round him. Diaz is on the back post. Should have buried it. And if that had been any one of about 5 Forest players, they score. But Diaz is the fluffiest of fluffy winners, Dave, and he probably doesn't like headers. But there we go. But it doesn't matter, Dave. 38 minutes, 2-0, game over. I don't know how much they showed on the TV from what Amy and I saw. This was actually a pretty good goal. They played out all the way.
I think it's Robinson. Robinson gets control of the ball, so like left side of the box.
He played well, Dave, left back. Yeah.
He's Liverpool loanee, isn't he?
I
believe he's a Liverpool player. He was, or he's either a loanee or he was certainly a Liverpool academy player. But again, that looks a bit easy to me. Benny's allowed to sort of like drift inside on his right foot. And it's a nice clip ball, and I think Derikwa just gets outside of Sears again. Sears running back, trying to cover. So I don't think he attach any blame to Sears, your usual running. I think he gets the ball inside Sears, and Derikwa, who's having a lovely old first half, isn't he? Nice ball, sort of cushion volley ball, takes everybody out across the 6-yard box. And, well, again, another bit of an embarrassing one for Grabban. He just bundles it in on the far post, can't he?
I mean,
it's all a bit easy, really. Nice goal, I suppose, but a bit easy.
I think we felt from the start they knew that was what was going to happen. We haven't actually mentioned the best player on the pitch today. That would be the post on our goal post.
He's going to get a couple of mentions in the second half, Amy.
I think so, yeah.
I think.
Right.
Dave, you would have liked, just because I know what you like, you would have liked Carvalho, the number 10, and that was you talk about the bit of quality and whatever. The ball he played to Derikwa was that it was very one pace, that move, and all of a sudden he got it and he pinged it in behind. He's a dangerous. He's not quite Neves. I know they paid like Neves type money for him, but he's improving. And actually, I tend to find Karanka quite boring, but I found the 3 off the front they used yesterday pretty entertaining, actually.
Yeah, I was listening to it on Radio Suffolk, and I think Paul Anderson was co-commentating with Brenner, and he was saying the same. He thought they were a really nice side, coming together quite well.
Knows his stuff, Ando, doesn't he? So game over. Let's go into the second half, and as you mentioned, Amy, a free kick which seems to come about 40 yards into the box, and Hefele, this massive German, completely free, heads it against the post, should have scored. And then, oh God, if ever you saw Bart's confidence having gone, this foot race with Graben to come and chase it, and it was good effort actually by Graben. He tries to lob it in from the left-hand side.
Superb effort. He's never scored a hat trick. Never scored top flight. Never scored a championship or top flight hat trick.
He scored 2 against us for Villa in February or March or something, didn't he? When Ward got sent off. In comes Roberts. In comes Chalobah. And Amy, out of the cold, John Nolan on 72. Are you surprised to see him?
Yeah, very. I honestly would have assumed he'd be out the door following Hurst, but he did not get a very good reception among the Ipswich fans.
Did he not?
I don't think there was. Maybe it was just our corner. There was a couple of quite outspoken men behind me who were voicing their displeasure at him. Never.
Was
it not one of the ones who declared their love for Freddie? Was it?
I think it was the same one, funnily enough. Yeah,
there you go.
Actually.
There you go. And how many expletives did he use in that 5-word sentence? Look, so are you telling me that people like Nolan and Ciala now, they're tarred with the Hurst brush now, are they?
I think they're tarred with being League One rubbish, aren't they? It's not. I don't think it's even about Paul Hurst. He gave the ball away too much for me. And when you have a sub that comes on at that point, they need to be making an impact, and he didn't. He disappeared into a midfield that I actually thought was quite good yesterday. So again, good by our standards, but I was quite happy with the midfield. Scouse, Downs, I thought not Downs, sorry, Bishop. I thought. I just didn't understand bringing Nolan on. I didn't think it was needed.
Interesting. Dave, do you want to do your takeaways, your summings up of this one?
Ben, it was always going to be a tough ask. I mean, different. Had we gone into the game with a bit of a lift after, hopefully, as we all thought, 3 points against Bristol City, you're going into the game with a different outlook. We were on a big downer going into the game. The changes, you had to freshen it. You certainly had to freshen it up a bit. Clearly, didn't really work. The one bright spot for me, I think, is Bishop, who I think played the full 90, didn't he? I think he did. I believe he did play, which can only be great for us. George, my lad George, he went yesterday. He was saying to me earlier, he said, Dad, Bishop is the only one, all right, only in phases yesterday.
Dave, he did the move 3 or 4 times where
drifts, he gets
with his first touch, he takes the guy
lovely.
on.
Drifts past players. He's got the ability to do that. We haven't got anyone else, I don't think, at the moment that can do that. So for me, that's the one bright spot of yesterday. It could have been worse. I mean, again, we'll get to the results. We could have been even further behind. We're not. Still, 7 points adrift? But
just a 7 now, is it?
Yeah, it was always going to be difficult. Yes, and Forest. I mean, Brenner said he, in his opinion, he thought Forest were one of the best sides he's seen. Actually,
yeah, there was.
He said that very good.
I agree.
Really easy on the eye.
Amy,
well organised.
Lancaster. It was nice to see him start. I was a bit surprised that he was more central, because I think 2 rows of people behind him is preferable. I think he did what he could, but I just got the sense his body language was saying, God, this is hard. This is difficult. Give me your views on Lancaster.
I agree. I think he looked very daunted, but I think he gave it his all, absolutely his all. Actually, to be fair, I think every single player on the pitch did yesterday. I don't think there was anyone, even Spence, bless him, he was trying. He was trying so hard. Everything he did was wrong, but he was trying.
He'd definitely taken on board the don't let any crosses over, at least, which Knudsen
hadn't.
Yeah, there we go.
It was just nice to see him start, and to have a manager that's willing to give that a go, give a young lad a go. We've been asking for that for years. So
I think I'd just like to see him one side on a 4-3-3 up the front.
Tell you what he is, he's a confident lad, that's for sure. I mean, they showed on the highlights show, cutting sides, that good effort, great effort.
Oh, that was we didn't mention that. Yeah, we didn't mention that.
No, 2 bright spots. Yeah, full debut, brilliant, superb, and Bishop for me.
Okay, let's go on to the questions. We'll try and do I'll say this every week, and you guys won't listen to me. So should we give you a time limit? Just try and bang through them quickly.
Why don't we just go through it and say better than us, better than us, better than us, better? There we go. Done.
Here we go. Right, are you ready? You go first, Dave. Jay Cook, should Lambert persist with Spence or introduce Donasian?
Donasian.
Okay, let's move on. Paul Westlake, this is for you, Amy. Do you think Lambert is shuffling the pack due to workload concerns, or are we already targeting games do we think we could win from?
I don't think so, because every game's a must-win game, so you play your best team every game, so I can't see that he'd be trying to rest somebody for next week. We needed something out of yesterday, no matter how unlikely it was. I take the point, but I disagree. It's not. Mind you, it is a heavy load of games at the moment, isn't it? And they are going to wear themselves out because they're giving 100% the whole game, so I don't know, and I'm not a football manager, thank God. So.
Chris Hodges, Dave, from the missed chances from Jackson yesterday, would you consider replacing him with Harrison and putting Falami on the bench?
Yeah, I think Harrison could fit quite well. Could fit. I mean, again, I'm not sure. He's a real natural finisher. There's been precious little evidence of that, albeit he's had this injury. But I think Harrison could fit quite well into that, with certainly with Sears up top. So yeah, he's fit. I'd certainly give him a go.
Amy,
my take on Jackson is I think loads of pace. There's a player there. He's just not relaxed, is he? And I think he's snatching. He's just not relaxed. And I think that goes through the whole team, really, in front of goal. We said it before. You need to be cold and relaxed. And at the moment, he's not.
Amy, this is Matty. Do you think who do you think might sign for us in January? And do you think we'll still be able to track players if we are still bottom?
I think that's a really interesting question, because it is obviously a bit of a worry, and it's not like we're going to be able to attract people with wages. We are losing our reputation as being a club that people want to play for, and they know if they're coming here. So are we going to end up, after all this, trying to get people from League One who can make the step up, because that's the only option we've got? There's not. I doubt that might we be able to get some Premier League players on loan, get a bit of experience.
Like you said, money talks, doesn't it? If you've got someone who's not playing, but you're totally right. They need to make what they're making at their Premier League club or in whatever percentage they deal. And I think we're looking at loans, aren't we? That's what I'm hoping for. Premier League loans.
Premier League loans, definitely.
That's the best we can hope for. Yeah.
Dave, this is Kevy T. An observation, discuss. McCarthy's style was to enable players to have a breather, i.e. lump it forwards, so they can compose themselves. The current style does not help poor quality players to compose themselves. What he's asking, are the players good enough to do what they're being asked?
I would suggest no. Well, certainly I don't think the centre halves are. The centre half split, I just don't get that at all, because they're just not. They're not comfortable enough to play like that. And I don't think the fullbacks are either. So yeah, I think he makes a good point there. Very good point.
Amy, this is Nick. Could you see us going to 3 central defenders, Pennington, Chambers, and Ciala/Donasian, with Knudsen and one other as attacking fullbacks as we seek to find a way of stopping crosses? 3 at the back, are you having that?
I do think that might have been some of our best performances when we had 3 at the back. And I think Knudsen is maybe better there than in a back 4. And would that allow us to get rid of Spence? Because if it does, then yeah, let's do that. Sorry, I'm being really horrible. It's the Sunny D.
There you go. Dave, this is Nick. Would you look to sign any of the loan players permanently? And do you think Lambert will? How much did Connolly go to Wigan for? Because Pennington won't be same club, same age, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, the only one I would suggest is Pennington, and even he's not been really at it the last couple of games.
But Pennington,
no, I like him. No, I don't get wrong. I like him. So he would certainly be the only one I would go for. And he's not. We said this before. He's like 24, I think. So he's not a young youngster as such. Where I think Connolly was like 21, 22 maybe. So yeah, out of them all, certainly Pennington. I'd if the opportunity was there. But that.
Amy, this is Phil Everson. Do I need to read the first tweet to the second one? I'll read it all. Fans, MM out. Evans, okay. Fans, we want a young lower league manager. ME, okay. Fans, we want young hungry players. ME, okay. Fans, this is crap. Sack the manager. ME, okay. Fans, it's still crap. We blame ME. It's not primarily the fans' fault, but surely we as a collective must take some responsibility for what is going on, or are fans above any criticism because they are the club? That's not a sarcastic question. That's genuine, he adds. Fans, any blame for any of this?
So when there was when people started first calling for Mick McCarthy out, I was actually quite vocal with, I really disagree with this. It was the nastiness that I didn't like. We don't have that nastiness now. It's just complete despair. And I think after 17 years that have now ended in this, 17 years in the Championship, which have just, I saw somebody tweet the other day about actually what it's turned out. It's turned out that these 17 years were just a slow death to the oblivion, when we'd all been hoping it might be eventually building up. And I was like, yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect way to describe it. I think that we had 22,000 people who came to watch the West Brom game, even though we were expecting a defeat. We had 1,200 people who came to the Forest game yesterday.
2,000 at Millwall, 2,000 at Reading.
2,000, exactly, absolute 2,000 at Reading. That's like the worst away game ever.
Dave loves going to Reading.
Still went down to it. Sorry, Dave.
He really doesn't.
You can't. I've been once and I loathed it, and I'm never ever going again. But you cannot criticise our fans at the moment. They are still going. They're still that whole game. I don't think we were particularly noisy, but it was positive. It was like the players were our mates, and we were trying to give them a bit of encouragement, or our little brothers or whatever. And you're just trying to give them a bit of encouragement, trying to help them. There wasn't any of the sort of anger that there was under McCarthy, where we were just fed up. This was everybody pulling together to try and make the best of a bad situation. So no, I don't blame the fans at all at the moment. I think we've got an incredible fan base.
Interesting. Dave, this is Adam. What would your plans be for next season in League One? No, but assuming we get relegated, how would you plan for that?
I think he would be the right manager. If it was possible, I think I'd certainly be looking to hang on to him. And yeah, you would be looking at some of these players out on loan. All right, look, if we go down, it's going to be a shitstorm for this club. If we go down, it really is. I mean, we think we've experienced pain in the last 17 years, but we don't know anything. And you don't. If we go down to League One, it's going to hurt, really hurt. So yeah, I think these loan players we mentioned earlier, they certainly could come back and form the basis of the team probably next season. That's what you're going to be looking at, I think, honestly. But I think it's critical if we do go down that he is the manager. We know he can do it. He's been there before. He's done it before. He would be the manager to bring us back. But who knows what's in his contract? I don't know.
Interesting. Amy, this is Harvey. With Lambert wanting to play up from the back and the fact that Bart/Gerk's distribution has never been brilliant, could we find ourselves looking for a new goalkeeper in the summer?
No, if Bart's a bit off it, give Gherkin a chance. If Gherkin's a bit off it, give Bart a chance. I think Bart is seriously struggling, and again, it's bad day at the office. What do you do? Do you keep going and let him try and pull himself round, or do you say take a step back, have a rest, maybe actually speak to him about why you're dropping him, look after him, and let Gerk step in for a bit? He showed earlier in the season he's just as good as Bart. I don't think Bart is at fault for where we are now at all. Either goalkeeper, not at all. So I don't think we need any. We waited so flipping long for Bart. The only thing that we need in January is a striker and someone to replace Bence.
Yeah, we probably need full backs, probably a ball playing midfield player as well, I'd suggest. But yeah, I think you're right.
If he's got 10 million, go and spend it on a striker. I'll play right back. It's fine. Just go and get a striker.
Yeah. Dave, this is Arthur Pickthorne. I like that name.
Oh, love
Arthur
that name.
Pickthorne.
So old sort of musical name.
He looks like a young guy. Arthur Pickthorne, excellent. Despite the players we brought in, 8 McCarthy players started yesterday.
Yeah.
Lambert is trying to get us to play on the deck, but our style was so awful under McCarthy that these players just don't know how to play in possession. The lack of criticism for Mick baffles me. Am I wrong?
No, I think we covered that earlier on. I don't think the way that they're trying to get them to play at the moment, certain players just aren't up to it. Unfortunately, they're not technically good enough.
Amy, this is it's Justin, isn't it? In January, this is a great question. In January 2017, Chelsea recalled Izzy Brown's loan to Rotherham because they were too low in the league and sent him to Huddersfield for a higher standard of football. Do you feel they could do the same with Chalobah? And how much would you miss him if that happened? That's not a bad shout, is it?
That's very on the mark.
The only thing I saw Chalobah at Leeds. I can't remember if he played at Millwall. The only thing I like about him is
he played centre back at Millwall. He had a horrible day. I remember.
There we go. There we go. So the only thing I particularly like about him is the chant that Leeds fans sang at him, and I really want us to do it, but you can't because it's me. Did you hear it?
It was about his hair, wasn't it? About bird.
He's got bird shit on his hair.
Bird shit on his head.
He's got bird shit on his head. The poor guy.
It was funny.
It could happen though. Could happen.
Oh,
if
Christ,
they've done it before.
Of course it could.
Yeah.
This is Jeremy, who I think was over. He was on the Naked Football show, wasn't he? He was going to be at our show that Sky messed up.
Jeremy Bowling.
Yeah. Who sunning it up in. Look at that profile picture. Just sat in the sunshine in Italy somewhere. There we go. How the other half live. And becoming concerned at the someone help me out. Toxicity. Susan won't like us calling it toxic. She doesn't like that. Surrounding Hurst. Surely the problems at ITFC are chronic rather than acute. It's almost as if things were actually okay under MM, which they clearly were not. Has everybody now got the ready-made excuse? Just blame Hurst, Dave.
I think it is very much, isn't it? It's an easy blame, that one. Yeah. But look, Hurst didn't appoint himself, did he? You wonder just how much proper. What's the buzz?
Due diligence. How
proper due diligence was actually done on the guy.
Point.
Yeah. Look, clearly he was out of his depth, but it unfortunately took us a dozen or more games to find that out.
This is Adam, Amy, who I saw hobnobbing with the previous manager at Reading once. He's Mick's best mate, Adam. Hey. As the games go up, and he's not, I've just thrown him under the bus. As the games go by and the points continue to dry up, do we perhaps just have to accept it's our turn to go down after so many seasons of stagnation?
I think it's a fair point when you look at the clubs that have gone down over the years, the many years that we've been in the Championship. Maybe it is just our time now, but I do not accept maybe we need to go down to come back up again, like Norwich and Leeds and Forest and whatever. I just don't think we'll manage it.
Amy, on the YouTube, all those fans pop up all in the match review videos. Sheffield United, Norwich, all the ones you listed, Leeds, Sheffield Wednesday. And
Southampton.
I was talking about this in the car earlier, the 17 years thing. So amazing when you consider that 6 teams come in and 6 teams go out every season out of a 24.
It's absolutely staggering.
It's quite an achievement.
To never be one of those 6 teams. Yeah. Dave, this is Simo from the Southwest who we met. Do you think it's time to bomb out the loan players? Well, that might be happening already, and start playing players who'll be here next season?
I think you're right. It's starting to happen, isn't it? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure of our loan players. Who can we not recall in January? I think Morris
at Forest Green.
Morris at Forest Green. Wolfenden.
I think Andy said on Kings of Anglia that they've all got break clauses.
Oh, they have. Okay.
That you can.
Ben, I think there's signs of that, and I think Justin might be thinking about it. A question a couple of minutes ago. I think Justin potentially might be onto something there with Chalobah. I forgot about Izzy Brown last year. Leaving Rotherham and going to
Alistair, who's the only person that asked this week, says the obligatory when will Hughes and Adeyemi be fit? No one knows. Stop asking. He was the only one this week.
Olimar,
Mr. U2. This is Mullet. Right, get your brains in for this one. You know this one will be an intellectual one, don't you?
Right, hang on. Turn it up. Go on.
Turn it up. Make notes on this one. A change of formation and Bishop, Lancaster, Nolan, Ward all brought into the game yesterday. All look good in parts. Is there a case that as they adjust to life under Lambert, we improve rapidly, or is he just rotating a squad so thin it needs a UN aid package? Amy?
I think one of the major problems under Hurst was the inconsistency of the side. I didn't know who was playing every game because I didn't recognise any of them. It was different every time. And Lambert has done what I wanted most, and that was introduce a bit of consistency, players playing in and out every week. I don't know. Of course, the squad's thin, but we've always had a thin squad, haven't we? So maybe I think he's just being sensible, rotating, but keeping the right people in. I don't really know. Good.
I think you're right,
far superior to me.
I think you're right, Amy. But again, we've spoken about this before in previous seasons, Ben. sometimes you have to sort of just throw players together, and it happens.
Well, Dave, like Lee Johnson the other night, he took out his worst player, stuck a forward on the wing,
bang,
put his other guy on the left wing, and all of a sudden the two left side destroyed completely by luck because Lee Johnson's not that smart.
Sometimes you just have to, not go totally rash at it, but and it's something clicks, something happens, and you're off. But it just hasn't quite happened.
There you go. But I totally agree with the what Joe called it, set of balls 3 Guinevere under Hurst.
Yeah,
6 changes, 7 changes, confusion. This is Harry. Dave, you'll be a bit disappointed with this. He says, is Mikey Smith up for that right back spot? I don't know if Mikey Smith's as 2-footed as you, is he, Dave?
Right back, Ben. Yeah, because obviously if you're 2-footed right back, you don't always have to bang up the line. You can come inside and sort of just chip one left foot.
Well, Dave, if it was you could just come inside into centre midfield, couldn't you?
Do we know is that Mikey's preferred position, right back? Is Mikey an out?
I think it's Mikey's only position.
I can see him. I can see Mikey being useful there. Yeah,
but Harry, seriously,
that's where I used to play as well.
Were you fullback? Fullback. No wonder you're so critical on. Sorry, pointed. No wonder you're so critical on Spence.
Like Gary Neville with right backs, isn't it?
Gary
always
Neville
talks about
absolutely
right backs, doesn't he? Dave, sorry, there was a serious part of that question. Why can't either of our fullbacks stop a cross?
Why can't any of our teams stop set pieces?
Why can't any of our team take a set piece?
Oh, exactly.
Oh, oh no.
No, that is don't get me started about why can't our fullback stop crosses? Because I'll tell you who should get that. Mick Mills. You hear Mick Mills summarising about our fullbacks. He is incandescent with rage.
Unbelievable.
First thing they're there to do, really.
Should we make the apologies? There's a load of other questions. We've already done a load. So apologies and thank you to James, Tim, Rory, Ben, Alex, Josh, Noel. Oh, Noel's back. We haven't heard from Noel for a while. I think it's because he just got kicked out of I'm a Celeb, isn't it? It's a different Noel, eh? The one and only Noel.
No, this is Noel Baker, yeah? No.
Yeah, sorry, Pete, I could have read his question out in the Noel Edmonds.
That's fine.
There you go. And Simon, so thank you very much for your questions.
Really good.
I did go from the bottom up. We love your
Amy,
questions.
I remember the early days of the pod in the pod bunker when Ben just used to make the questions up. That was quite
I never made the questions up. Hi, Dave. Love the show.
Second week on the pod, I think we had 60 hits or something. He said, David got 52 questions this week.
Right. None of that is true.
None of that shenanigans.
Let's do some roundup, shall we?
Well,
they were 1-0 down at half time at least.
Hey, they should have been 2-0 down. Hit the inside of the bloody post. Mind you, we have to now look at it as a positive result for us. That one.
Oh,
I think we have.
I did have. Call me obsessed. You can if you like. I did have a look at Norwich's games. They got 2 away games. They've got Bolton at home next week, which is a win. And then they've got 2 away games, and then they've got in the space of 7 games, like Sheffield United, West. They've got 5 out of the current top 7.
That'll be the mark, but they're good. I mean, I hate to say it.
What did Alex Ferguson say about Liverpool? Knock them off their perch. Well, they're canaries, literally on a perch.
They're ready to be knocked off the perch, aren't they? They're bringing players through from the bloody academy and stuff like that.
Didn't he?
He's from Stowmarket. Just up the road.
Why didn't we get him? There we go. Anyway, Sheffield United. Oh, now, Amy, I disagreed with you last time on Leeds, and you're proving me wrong here. Sheffield United 0, Leeds 1. They're in the top 2. Roof and Hernandez tearing it up, and away they go. So, are you having that one?
There was sort of nice little hum in the Notts County bar before the Ipswich game. Had the Leeds game on the big screen, and everybody turned around to watch the replay, and just like a united laugh went up on in the whole room. It was ridiculous.
We need to talk about goalies this week, yeah.
Well, no, there was a worse one.
And have you seen the Liverpool one an hour ago as well?
Oh, mate, Pickford as well.
I think my tweet at the time was bless Sheffield United. They're trying to remind us that we're not the only terrible defenders in the league, because it was awful. But I read earlier, that was Leeds' first win at Bramall Lane for 26 years.
Love that stat.
Lovely stat. Amy, first back-to-back wins for Leeds since August. I'll give you that one. And here's a really boring stat. Pablo Hernandez is really good. There you go. Stick him a neck out there, aren't I?
He couldn't miss that one, could he?
Borough, but he's a great player, Dave. Borough 0, Villa 3. Here they come. Here they come, Dave. Here they come.
So like 11 goals in a week. What was the score last weekend? The Birmingham 3-2.
4-2. 5-5. Yeah.
4-2, 5-5, 3, 12 bloody goals in a week. Shit. Yeah, amazing.
Here they
amazing.
come.
And 3 goals at Borough. I mean, that just doesn't happen, does it? I mean, they got bloody. We said that before. Trench in front of their defence, haven't they?
Harry won up that on the preview show with the, what did he say about Forest? The steel tortoise shell.
Steel tortoise shell. They got some good play. I mean, they won't even had people like Codger on. It's a different world they're moving in. You know, they had Codger on the bench, people like that yesterday.
But Dave, you could put Grealish and Abraham with Blackburn's team, and they'd finish like 7th or something. There you go. West Brom Brentford is tomorrow, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen, I will be there. I'm very excited. Yeah, exactly the wrong game for Brentford when they're not playing well.
Actually, at West Brom.
Yeah, I've been to West Brom in years.
Oh.
Years and years. In fact, last time I went to West Brom, Manuel Thetis scored an overhead kick.
Oh, classic. Do you know that's the highest ground in the Football League?
Unbelievable. I think you say that every time we mention that stadium, though.
Just say it right in there.
Derby 2, Swansea 1. I don't even know. Who were the scorers in this one? I didn't look.
I'll tell you what, that Wilson got
It was Wilson, I think.
Brace.
Yeah.
Got a brace because he was so good. They're even talking about, would he even fit in at Liverpool now? Yeah, he got a couple, and I think there was an own goal for Swansea.
What I do know, Amy, is that Swansea are the only other team, other than Ipswich, who managed in their 3-game week to lose all 3 games. So
I think it's a sign of when we beat them and Hurst's 1 win, we were all like, oh yeah, we're turning it around now, we're going to be fine. I think it's probably it was a sign of things to come for them, wasn't it? Yeah.
We're going to get T-shirts, aren't we? I was there. Although the T-shirts aren't going to say I was there when Paul Hurst won. It's going to be I was there when Ipswich won in the 2018-19 season. Dear me. Yeah. Oh dear. Now, Dave, some mistakes I find funny. Mate, and some mistakes I'm just like, oh no.
This was toe-curlingly horrific, wasn't it?
That man has got a family. Birmingham 3, Preston 0. What a goal by Kieftenbeld.
Oh, mate, I mean, what was he?
We didn't mention as well, sorry Dave, Randolph as well for Middlesbrough.
Oh, that was a shocker. Yeah, well, and even worse, I think it was a goal by Glenn Whelan, for Christ's sake.
I think Bart probably had the best goalkeeping performance of the weekend based on
Bart was outstanding, but this goal was horrific, wasn't it? I mean,
wasn't funny though, was it?
No,
although he's ex-Norwich, isn't he, Declan Rudd?
Declan Rudd is ex-Norwich, but he's a good keeper, I think. But that was just so Cliftonville just overhits the ball, and it's a odd one because he just goes to like pick it up, but he doesn't. just weird. Odd one.
Not comfortable. Amy,
they're going well. Birmingham up to about 8th. They're flying, aren't they? They're really well.
Good side.
Yeah, solid.
Blackburn 4, Wednesday 2. I didn't see the commentary. Did Danny Graham get a hat trick?
Graham and Dak show. I think Graham got a hat trick. I think Dak may have got a goal and like 2 or 3 assists. I mean, just good pair, aren't they? Very good. Although Lucas Jow scored a hell of a goal.
Oh, and that's a thunder bastard, that.
Yeah, and I thought the commentator was actually going to lose it and say thunder bastard, but he stopped and said thunderbolt. Oh, that's a thunder. Go on, say it. Bolt.
Oh, there you go. Usain Bolt. Well, maybe we can pull Wednesday in. But Amy, one team we can't pull in is bloody Hull, who won 3-2 at QPR. Where did that come from?
Well, they're just they're doing what we need to be doing, aren't they? They've pulled it around. They got a result against Norwich midweek, and they're doing what we needed to do. And when I think back to when I saw them in September at the KC Stadium, and we lost 2-0 to what I thought was going to be the worst team I saw all season, and we're still below them.
Oh, they were awful,
sense.
weren't
they? They were terrible. That was an awful game.
They got match winner. They got that Bowen. He scored a couple again yesterday. He's player. He's match winner. They got 1 or 2 players that we unfortunately haven't got. Well, Sears, I suppose, apart.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, they've got 1 or 2 players that can do it.
Reading 2, Stoke 2. Without burying Stoke, because we want Amy to think that they're entertaining for when she comes to watch them.
Great side.
They're just not moving it fast enough, are they? Although you're going to like Tom Ince's goal, aren't you, Dave?
It's a hell of a goal, and a little swivel left foot volley, great goal.
He stabbed it like that one, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would have done. And I mean, that was that'd have done us because that a point closer to us, and then Mo Barrow scores a 95th minute equaliser. Yeah, Rowett was not happy.
Needs to turn those draws into wins. Let's group these 2 together, Amy. Bristol City 1, Millwall 1, and Bolton 1, Wigan 1 means that it's now 11 points, 18 points, 18 points, 18. But Hull have moved ahead of those. They're now up on 20 with Rotherham, if I've got that right. That gap
Yeah,
sucks,
Hull.
doesn't it?
Yeah, Hull shot up to like 19th.
It's that bit of luck again, isn't it? Nothing's falling right for us, and just having the odd, like all the teams we need to be losing are drawing, and they're like we did under Mick. They're picking up the odd points, and that'll be what gets them through the season, and we're not.
Chipping away.
And it's
Yeah.
as much as I like. We can't rely on other teams losing. That's not how you play football. But you do need a little bit of luck. You need a little bit of, Hull losing away to Norwich at home to Norwich. They couldn't even do that for us.
And you look at these teams, and we haven't beaten any of them.
No.
Bolton
And
drew,
Dave, Paul
Millwall
Lambert
lost,
said,
Reading drew, Rotherham
yeah.
lost, Hull lost, Brentford drew. I think it's
Paul Lambert said it's a little
a league of
16.
six.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
probably you'd think Brentford are out. Brentford.
No, they're too good.
I didn't realise they're too good. So Hull are on a run. It's almost 1, 2, 3.
I mean, Bolton are
5,
terrible,
so
Dave, but they got
us,
like
Bolton,
10 points in
Millwall.
their first 4 games.
Yeah, mate. It's not. No matter what way you look at it, it ain't pleasant. It isn't pleasant.
No. Well, I'm not going to extrapolate because I can't be bothered. Needless to say that
don't do it, mate.
Needless to say that Sears is now up to 4 goals. And hasn't Gwion Edwards got 4 goals as well?
Yeah, was he not
Yes,
even
he
in the?
started off well,
did
didn't
he
he?
not figure at all in the squad?
No, he wasn't in the. Wasn't in the 18.
Him and Downs are out because Nolan's back in. That was a weird one, wasn't it?
Well, he needs to look at these guys.
Yeah.
Should we go to some Two Little Ducks, Dave? You were very upset with me doing a weird European game last week. Weren't
Yeah, I've lost the plot. Yeah.
you? Amy was asking for hints earlier. Before.
Yeah, I need them.
No, she didn't get any. Don't worry. But
Uh,
I'm going to be kind to you both.
I was going to ring my dad and have him on the other end of the
Oh,
phone
yeah.
so he could send me the
Amy,
answers.
I totally panic and go blank at this.
No,
Normally,
you
don't,
rubbish.
I was awful
I
last
do
time.
a lot. Go on.
This is easy, this one. Actually, no, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not. We're not going far. We're going... This is a Renegade Statman one. This one. Exactly 1 year ago today, December the 2nd, 2017, Ipswich Town 4, Nottingham Forest 2.
Thank already.
But...
Statman's 4-2 game.
yeah, and also it would have been is on this day today on Twitter probably. Can I just give you a bit of a hand? Only 5 players from the 22 that played yesterday started this game.
Wowzers.
There's one absolute critical one that you could fall over from an Ipswich point of view. That you would think would be the most obvious given bloke who never
Didn't
misses a
play.
game but didn't play. I've given
Okay.
you too much. Do you want to go first, Amy?
Yeah, Bart.
Bart is a good start. We'll give you one.
This could be the player. Chambers.
Would you want to play your golden goose? Remember, we each get a golden goose here.
I can't remember who scored. Bursant Selena.
Oh yes, Bursant Celine. What
Good
a player.
shout.
Amy.
Iorfa.
Yes,
Ooh.
did he score in that
He
game?
scored a
against
header. I think
Reading?
he scored a header. I think you're right.
Did he really?
No,
I
was
believe
it?
he did. Far post. Did he not score a far post header? Was that the game?
I don't remember. He started anyway, so you get a point. for
Martin Waghorn.
that. What a player. 4.
Love him. Absolutely love him.
Oh.
He's not even playing for Derby.
Hey,
Can we not just go and get him
don't-
back?
Amy, don't do it. Don't do it to us.
And
Don't.
do you know, Amy? Some people even criticised his corners last year. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that?
I did
Dave?
it once.
I
One
know, and
game.
I've never forgotten it.
There was a lad who sits behind me at footy.
There we go.
Yeah.
What we got? 4. On you go,
Yeah.
Dave.
Right. Get where we were. Joe. Oh, hang on.
Oh,
David McGoldrick.
Mm.
you can play your golden goose on that. No McGoldrick. No, this is post Sheffield Wednesday, isn't it?
Oh, mate, I've just totally blocked.
Amy.
Knudsen.
Knudsen, yes, 5.
So who would have played?
Dave, you really liked one of the Forest players. You said he reminded you of Chris Waddle.
Oh, the guy from Everton whose name escapes me, who scored 2. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, he's gone. I can't
Kieran
remember.
Dowell,
Yeah.
very good.
Kieran
6.
Dowell. Yeah, man, rubbish. Honestly, when I start to lose it, I lose it. Go on.
There's an Ipswich Town legend playing for Forest, by the way.
Oh, Murphy.
Murphy, there you go, 7.
Well done.
Amy?
I'm just trying to think who was playing for Forest last year. I'm going to go with Scouse.
Scouse, always a good bet.
Yeah.
I'll give you a big clue.
Callum Connolly.
Callum Connolly scored. Can I give you a big clue? None of the Forest players started yesterday. 0. Zilch show. No.
Jesus
Entire
Christ.
change of team.
Who was the ex-Norwich awful, horrible man? Begins with an L.
Robert Fleck.
That doesn't begin with L. I'm assuming that was. Why? Yeah. There was someone who always scored against us when we play at Forest. And I hate him. No, I don't know. What about... Who would have been up front with Waggy?
What about sunshine?
Freddie?
You substitute, so you're still in. Dave?
Joe, have I said no? I haven't said him. I should say him. Who would have played so Chambers did. Who the hell played centre back then?
Remember, we had no centre backs for a while. Amy's favourite player.
Oh, Flynn Downs. No, centre back. Who? I can't.
My mate Spence.
Spence.
Oh, I see.
10.
Oh, right, yeah. Forrest, Kieran Dow.
Dave, if you were at the game on Tuesday, you would have seen this guy playing, but not for Ipswich.
For the game on Wednesday, you mean?
Wednesday.
No, mate, I've gone. No.
He's gone. He's lost it. You want another one, Amy?
I don't care.
He doesn't. He's like, yeah, I don't care. Come on, give the listeners something here. Right, shall I put you guys out of your misery?
Go on, yeah, go for the Forest side. Go on. I don't know.
Let me go through the Ipswich
that's what
side
I
first.
want.
Right, Bar, I offer you got Knudsen, Adam Webster, Jordan Spence,
Of
you got
course.
Connolly, Scusalini, you got Grant Ward, Emir Hughes.
No way.
Yes,
Wow.
I bet he was really good as well.
Probably.
Martin Waghorn, Usub, Sears and Brew. Forest in goal, Jordan Smith, Eric Lehigh, Michael Mancien, who Waghorn pulled his pants down for the goal, didn't he?
Yeah.
Traore, not that one. Worrell, Bridcut, who you like Dave from Brighton.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Osborne, who came on as a sub yesterday but didn't start.
Yeah.
Who was replaced by Mustafa Karayel later that season of Ipswich. David Vaughan, replaced by Bouchalakis, great name. Daryl Murphy and Tyler Walker, who also scored, was replaced by Barry Mackay, now at Swansea. If anyone got more than 10 on that one, which the guys got with lots of help from me,
they'll do that easily.
Then do you think that will be easy? I'll tell you something that won't be easy, guys. Stoke away next week. Can I just put it out there before I get loads of tweets? I'm not going to be at Stoke next week. I will not be there. There will be no match review. But I think Ipswich is going. Maybe we can persuade him.
Ipswich. I mean, I just looked through their team yesterday.
Here he goes. The bench. Yeah.
Oh well, no, not the bench. The midfield.
Remember, they're managed by Gary Warrett. So
that's a very
not
good
going
point.
to move.
So it's Joe Allen, Woods, who you love,
great
don't
player.
you? You love him. Ince and Clucas, probably. Afobe, McLean. Yeah, looks like a decent side to me.
Yeah,
only blokes on the bench. Croucher on the bench, of course. Berahino and Juve on the bench. So it's a strong side. Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard game, isn't it?
Amy, they're very pragmatic. Surely we can. Can we get amongst them?
No. Honestly, I've all gone since yesterday. I just cannot see where the next win is coming from.
Wigan.
Stoke's one of the ones you expect to be.
It's Wigan the week after, 16th, isn't it?
15th, yeah.
15th.
That's going to be, what is it you called it? The must-win.
Well, the last one was the mother of all wins.
The mother of all must-wins.
So this must be the grandma of,
great grandmother.
Yeah, no, we'll save a few of those, Dave, because I think there might be another few. It's good because then the next one will be Millwall on New Year's Day, won't it? If it's not done by then.
The only thing, I don't know how many tickets we've sold, but I wonder if we might get quite a decent following to that, with it being a new ground.
For a lot of people,
Yeah.
That might help as well.
I once went there. We drew 1-1. Matt Holland scored, and Chris Kamara was Stoke manager. Yeah. And I think they got relegated, which is why Chris Kamara's been in TV ever since.
Probably. Yeah.
Very charismatic guy, but maybe not the best football manager. Guys, I think that'll do us. Dave, is there this week in ITFC history this week?
Hopefully going to do one this week, yeah.
Yes.
I was away the week before last. Weren't very well this last week. Hopefully, Stat did put something, texted something the other day. So, yeah, hopefully. I might text him after this.
So if you hear a noise in... Where does Stat live? Rushmere, is he near you?
Near
the Ipswich training ground. That's the Stat machine limbering up there.
It's like the TARDIS.
Dave, where can we follow you on Twitter?
At David Diamond 3.
And Amy, have we plugged your Kings of Anglia stuff since? Was that out when you were last on?
I saw that.
No, I don't think it was. There's just been one, and it is my open letter to Chris Sutton. So it is about the Be Careful What You Wish For. And Mike Bacon, the editor, has very kindly allowed me to publish it on my blog, which I'm going to be doing this week. So retweet it, tag him in it. I want him to respond.
Where can we find the blog and?
So it's
Twitter?
Diary of a Tractor Girl, but my Twitter handle is TractorGirlAmy8.
Mikey met Chris Sutton the other week, didn't he?
Didn't he?
Did he slap him?
He was at work, so I think
I wouldn't have cared. That would have been worth getting sacked for.
I think professionalism.
He couldn't even get in a sly dig, I don't think.
Kicked in. Sly dig. So Blue Monday Live, February the 16th, Curve Bar, eventbrite.co.uk. Follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom. Please subscribe on YouTube. Loads of excellent content. If you give any shits about West Brom Brentford, I will be there tomorrow night, and then we're going to have This Week in ITFC History. I'll do my championship review, then we'll have Harry and Rich, the brilliant Harry and Rich, then the preview, and then the guys will be at the game, and there'll be another podcast. It's lovely, isn't it? All sorts of stuff going on. It's all going on, Dave. Say goodbye, Amy.
Bye. I will see. I'll see you next year. Now I don't have to put up with Ipswich until Blackburn away now.
Oh, so, okay. When's that?
It is January 16th, I think. So midway through the month.
Look out for Amy on the podcast on January the 17th.
Hang on, don't forget Mucho. Surely you're going to throw in one tomorrow, Ben. Mucho excitement. FA Cup third round draw tomorrow evening.
Who do you want, Dave? Lincoln away?
Oh no, who do I want? Man City at home.
Amy?
No, we need a team that we can win, because we need a cup run to give us a bit of confidence and not take away too much.
Yeah, Swansea away then.
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm not sure. Leiston. No, that's rude to Leiston. Left. No, that's not. No, that doesn't be rude to Leiston. No, not at all. No.
Cambridge.
We probably need a team from that level. So anyone non-league. But then said that about Lincoln, didn't we?
Hey, imagine that was the kickstart. You got the win.
Exactly.
And then off you go. Imagine
exactly.
that. You know.
I don't want to go to Old Trafford this year. I want us to have a few wins
Amy,
against.
you know what's happening. We're going to get an away game of a team in this division. Like we'll get Derby away or something.
Yeah.
Who did I see?
Nottingham Forest again.
There was a bit of a link today or yesterday. I think Wimbledon won, and Wordsworth scored for him. I think.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Shakespeare.
Chaucer. Yeah.
Bye everyone.
See you guys.
Bye.
Even better back to Stewart. Oh, he turns to defend discreetly. Round the goalkeeper. And scores a magnificent goal.